Hello there. Sometimes in life, we go through something that we never bargained for, something that we have no hands in. But then the very thing that looks though like a challenge becomes the very thing that gives us significance and real meaning, but ultimately real impact. I am Ambassador J.K. Pele. I'm the host of Hidden Sparks. Welcome to my wall. Hidden Spark is everyday people making extraordinary change. And I have one large family that is making extraordinary change. You will meet them when we come back as we focus on a young man who is making significant change with paint and ride. Don't go away. Hidden Sparks will kick in after this time out. Welcome back to Hidden Sparks, and I'm very delighted to have my friends, a big family, a young man who from nowhere hit the Guinness Book of Records, and today he is a celebrity by all means. And in his right. Ladies and gentlemen, Kanyeyachukwu is my guest today. Hi. Excellent. Kanye is a blessed but very highly talented, gifted child with autism. So you won't be hearing his voice, but you sure will hear the voice of the brother who is S02, right?
Yes.
Huh? Fantastic hair. Huh? Were you born with this hair?
I was.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. S02 is Kanyeyachukwu. Sometimes I'll murder the name, right? And the father is here to correct.
You can just say Kanye.
Kanye. Okay, Kanye's elder brother. But then I have the father and the mother, and they say ladies first. So let me introduce Dr. Sylvia Tagbo-Okeke. Dr. Sylvia, ever smiling. Do you ever get angry, Dr. Sylvia? I don't want to be there when you're angry. Anyway, Dr. Sylvia, welcome to Hidden Sparks. And of course, the big fish, Mr. Tagbo-Okeke, who is the proud father of this very good-looking young man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Hidden Sparks.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thank you. Let me begin with you, Madam Sylvia, Dr. Sylvia. Dr. Sylvia, what was it like? Can you remember any significant thing that happened when you gave birth to this wonderful Amazon of a man, Kanye?
Kanye.
Kenya.
Oh, the day he was born?
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were not expecting him to
come that
very day. I went for normal routine checks, and they said, well, your BP is up, the baby needs to come out. And he was at the airport getting ready to start coming to Canada. And the next day, my younger brother called him and said, your wife has given birth. And he was just boarding his flight with Ozzy. Ozzy was about 1 then. So he came in.
So he's
early.
a Canadian?
He's a Canadian, yes.
Wow.
He came in early and unexpected.
Wow. So what was it like not being there? Usually men will always want to be in the labor room, right?
It was very annoying, very upsetting, because like you said, I already bought my ticket, I was ready. I was hoping to come in maybe a week before she delivered, before her due date. So I'm in the office, and then all of a sudden
at the airport.
I'm in the office first of all, and then she said that she had a high blood pressure. She has to go to the hospital. And I was like, this is a problem. So I quickly went to my boss in the office and I said, sir, please, I have to, this is what I told you about, and I have to go. My boss says, okay. So I'm at the airport. It was a British Airways flight. So in the morning, I'm at the airport in the morning, and next thing her brother calls me. It's night over there, and he says, she has given birth.
Wow.
Okay, well, too bad.
Wow.
Let's go on. So I was with him. He was a year old. We traveled together.
That's interesting. A year old, and the mom is in Canada trying to give birth to another child.
Yes.
You know, so you were both a mom and a father.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So tell me, what has been the challenges of a young man who was expecting first child, had no challenges per se. I'm trying to choose my word, and the second child came with all kinds of challenges. What has it been like, you know? And can I look you in the eyes and ask you, are you ashamed of your child?
Never.
Go ahead, tell us what it has been like.
First of all, I think I was prepared. I will answer that question even further. I think I was always prepared for this because I am a family-oriented man. I grew up family-oriented. The environment I grew up in, it was all about family, making sure everybody was okay. So when we found out he had a problem, it was so the easiest thing for us to do was to sit down together and begin to talk about what solutions. That was the easiest thing. The difficult part was, you know, watching him struggle, watching him go through the challenges, not speaking, the wailing, endless wailing. That was the real problem for me, and it was a very big problem. We probably were living in denial for maybe just a few months to a year. But even during that period, we were going from one hospital to the next. We visited one particular hospital over 4 times, seeing specialists upon specialists upon specialists here in Abuja. And every time everybody kept on telling us, he's a boy. Boys grow differently. And I kept on saying, I have one before him. And I know how that one grew. So there's a problem.
So you were not able to find a diagnostic solution to autism?
No, we weren't at that period.
How long did that take?
It over a year. We were going. I mean, at one point, the doctor would tell us, one particular doctor, because we had come like 2 times to him. He said, "You guys are worrying yourself for nothing. This boy is fine." They would bring a book. They would show him. They would say, "What color is this?" He would say green. Mind you, that's what we are doing with him. We were doing with him every single day. So it wasn't they say, "What color is this?" Green. What did I tell you? This boy is fine. And I'm like, no. You are here with just 20 minutes or so with him. I go back home with him. I sit down with him. I know there's a problem. One other person that actually reinforced that fact in me was my mom. I took him to Lagos once to see my mom. And he was about 2 then. And when we got to Lagos, my mom looked at him, called me, said, there's something wrong. Have you tried to check him out? I said, I've gone to 1 or 2 places and there's nothing. She said, no, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Go and find out what the problem is. And she would call and call and call after that, and call and call and call. And so we never lived in, it's not the stigma. We probably, that period we lived in denial was, we were also hoping truly that he was fine.
Okay, so let me turn to you, and I'm going to come to you, Ozzy. At what point, of course, you were following your husband, trying to find solution and all that. You know, what was it like when you came to conclusion that the very good-looking, inspirational child that you have has autism?
I think the light bulb for us was we have couple of friends that we had kids about the same time, maybe 2-3 months apart, same here. And one of them brought the child to the house, and the child was just talking, interacting, and we didn't need anybody to tell us that. No, this is not what it should be. And that's when we realized that no, he's not on par with his peers in terms of social skills and verbal relationship. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, obviously, parents go through stigma, all kinds of this thing. But by the way, let me go back to you, Mr. Okeke. Did you try to find spiritual solution to the medical issues your son have?
Yeah, sort of. My wife told me when we only got a diagnosis when we got back to Canada. When we went back to Canada. So she got back to Canada, she called me, she said he had autism. Immediately she told me she had autism. I said, what is that? Because I never heard about it. Or I'd never experienced it, you know. Between that time, and maybe a couple of years after that, yes, we were very deeply religious family, not really spiritual. We believe in God, we believe in the power of the power of healing, the power of resurrection, the power and miracles even also happening. Yes, we do believe in that. So we took this matter directly to God. We did not we didn't go to any particular person.
On your own, because you do have a personal relationship with God.
I'm the high priest of my house. So
exactly, I agree.
I'm the one that takes the matter to God. So we would sit together with all of them and we would pray. And we would pray and we would have prayer points. And every time our prayer points, after we pray for ourselves, we pray for Kanye. And we also involved her sister, who prays a lot. We would also involve my own sister. And these are the people who we actually really put our focus on. We put total trust in God. At a time, I was praying. We were praying for healing. We were praying for that miracle that would transform him. He would speak. He would be a normal child. And at that same time, we were being told that listen, this thing is not. You're going to have to look after him for the rest of your life. Okay. At a point, we now began to also pray for the strength and wisdom to know how to actually deal with him. And then the focus now came to wisdom, strength, and from there, we will be able to get to better communication, which is what we ultimately wanted in the first place. Yeah, so that is what we did, and that's what we still do, even up till now.
Wow. Okay. So oftentimes the pressure is on the woman. You know, sometimes your friends would advise you, "Oh, go to this particular church. Go to this particular church." You know, was that the case with you? Did you try to find spiritual solution through many churches? And I'm going to come to.
Definitely, when you get a diagnosis and you go to Google and they tell you no cure, and there's no hope, you of course you go spiritual. But what we did, while praying to God for healing, we also had to say, okay, we are waiting on God, but how do we make this child's life better? How do we do our own part and let God do his part? So you're going from pillar to post, you're praying, you're fasting, you're looking for solution, but you're also doing your part. And that's exactly what we did. We didn't say, okay, we can't do intervention. We didn't say we can't talk to people about him so that they understand.
Did you ever, sorry to butt in, did you ever fast for his healing?
Yes, I did.
And you felt that God didn't answer you?
Before he was born, I remember I asked my husband and I said, what should we name? Because he's very good at naming kids. I am absolutely horrible, so I don't do it. So he said, we'll give him Kanyeyachukwu. I dedicate him to God.
To God.
So when I remember prayer point is, because we have a daughter, we have him, and then we have Kanye, and then his son. That's 4 kids. Then we have 3 kids. We said the other 2, they're okay. This one that we said Kanyeyachukwu, and we used it as our prayer point. God, why is it Kanye?
It's almost like spiritual Samuel.
Yes, And then and God actually answered, but not in the way that we expected him to. Because what we are getting is, to me, is more miraculous than the normal so-called healing. You know? So
Chukwu, how has it been trying to look after your younger brother? How much fight do you have to put up with the people who wants to bully him?
I'll be lying to you if I said that it was easy, but it wasn't. I mean, I remember growing up, we used to go to the same school. We went to an American school, and my first day going to that school with him, they told me that, oh, someone was picking on him, someone was insulting him. That was my first day of school. I got into trouble for arguing with the child over my brother. Because before I even started the school, my dad told me, you're there to protect your brother. You always protect your brother. We're always a close family. We're family-oriented people. So anything that I see that influences him in a bad way, or even you can tell when he's uncomfortable, he doesn't like something. Even now that he's this celebrity, if we go out and there's an event and Kanye starts getting agitated, I know when to take him out to that space and, you know, keep him secluded, keep him safe. So I just try my best to look out for him in any way I can.
You feel your brother is a celebrity?
I know he's a celebrity.
you know.
Yeah.
What makes him a celebrity?
A celebrity to me isn't someone that's like famous, everyone knows. It's someone that can influence others. And I think the way Kanye influences the people around him, I see him not as an artist anymore. I see him as almost a symbol now. A symbol for what can come out of investing in a child or taking care of our children properly.
Have you ever fought for your brother? Like real physical fight?
I won't say too much. That.
Why?
No, I haven't.
Why? You haven't fought? You haven't? But you've been tempted to fight for your brother.
Of course.
There's nothing wrong with fighting to defend your brother. Not really that you're throwing punches, but fights are in several spaces and spheres. I can engage you in a fight of war and all that, but you're always there to protect your brother. That's what I'm going to. And you will always do that. Okay. So now, a lot has been said about this amazing young man, influential. And when we come back, we will delve into the journey of this enigma, sort of a young man who had done this continent, not just this country, proud by becoming the World Guinness Book record or Book of Records, in painting. So we will delve into that, and the parents will tell us what the painting was like and how much money they made selling those paintings. Don't go away. Hello, welcome back to Hidden Sparks. On Hidden Sparks, we explore three-dimensional segments. The first is we look at the spark, and that's what we've been looking at this young man with an incredible beginning. And now we want to delve into his journey, the things he's been doing that is making him and had made him and is making him and will make him a celebrity, like the brother said. So let's get into it. Whose idea was, who had the idea? Who muted the idea that he was going to go into painting? How did you arrive at that?
Oh, okay. When we at the period when we were looking for how to manage his condition. So Kanye, at that time, we used to do something that used to drive everybody in the house crazy. Whenever you get a pencil or a pen, he would scribble on the wall. He would scribble all over the wall. He would scribble on tabletop, on your shirt, anywhere. And then we started buying him rolls of paper. We'd buy a whole roll of paper. By the time you go out in the morning, go to work, and you come back in the evening, he has scribbled all of them, paper all over the floor. The one thing that was very significant was he would not scribble on both sides. Just one side of the paper. If you turn the other side, he wouldn't touch it. So we kept buying those roll of paper. It was really becoming a big issue in the house. And then one day, of course, this is at this period, remember, like my wife said, we're praying, we're fasting, we're looking, we're asking for a solution, a way. He was very hyperactive. Hyperactivity was a lot, and everybody, for parents who have children living with autism, they will know, understand me when I say very active, very hyperactive. Now, one day, a friend of my wife came to the house and said, why don't we take him to an arts teacher? And that was where the miracle started to happen. So because we said, okay, fine. My mom said that maybe this art, this is art, we should take him, an art teacher can help him. Took him to the first art teacher. Art teacher said he couldn't help him because he wasn't talking and he wasn't able to sit down in one place and to paint. Second art teacher, I took him to the third art teacher, a lady, a Pakistani lady. Her name was Mrs. Kukab. So we took him there. Mrs. Kukab said, well, she had never dealt with a child who was non-verbal. And because at that time, Kanye was completely non-verbal, just mumbling, completely non-verbal. So she hasn't dealt with a child who is non-verbal, who has autism. And so she says, I would like to just sit down with him a little bit. So she asked myself and my wife to leave him with her and go home. Maybe I'll go somewhere for 10, 15 minutes. We had barely driven out of her house when she called us to come back, called my wife for us to come back. So we drove back and she said, in the most excited manner, that this is a genius, that she asked Kanye to do something with a pencil. And something like, it's not what even an adult artist can do, just like that. And he just did it and gave her back the paper that she gave him. And she said, clearly this is a genius, but please, I would like to work with him. That I don't know about autism, but I will read about autism. I'll go on Google and read about autism so that I can work with him. And that was how it started. So he started going to her art school. And because of that hyperactivity...
This was in Abuja, right?
Yes, here in Abuja. She was in Jabi. And because of that activity again in him, when we take him to our class, because he has other students, I would have to sit down in the class with her. Or my wife would sit down, whoever takes him to the class would have to sit down there to make sure he stays. So after a while, I would sit in the living room and he would be in the classroom, and if he starts to jump around, she would tell him, your dad is in the living room. So he would stay calm, or she would call me to come in. So these were the things that we had to do. So you leave work, you pick them from school, maybe you drop him at home, or maybe someone else takes him home, then you have to take him to her class and then sit down till 6 p.m. where he would be painting. And this was what we kept on doing. And sometimes while he's in the class and I'm sitting in the living room, I'll be praying. And I'll be very honest with you right now. I don't even really know what I was praying for. But I'll be praying and asking God to just simply, sometimes let this woman not get tired. Sometimes let him stay still. Sometimes let him behave himself. And then sometimes let me get out of this situation. I mean, I'm here, I'm doing nothing here. Just take me out of here. Let's get this thing going. Let's get some relief. Yeah. So that was what we were doing until we now, she had him exhibit on one of her, with her kids and everything. And we were still working together until one day my stepmom, who was in Vienna, Austria, came to Nigeria, and she was playfully, because she was following him as well, playfully, she says, Kanye, give me one of your paintings now, give me one of your paintings. And he just took one painting and he just shoved it at her and walked away. And she took the painting and she went back to Vienna with it. A couple of days or a week or so after that, we got a phone call, and said one of her staff said somebody came to the office and wanted to meet the parents of whoever painted this. Person doesn't believe it's 7-year-old boy that painted this. From there, they invited us to Austria.
Wow.
And before then, there were.
Who did the invitation? The Ambassador Vivian or
No,
the person who wanted to see who?
Yes, and
OPEC
that is
Fund for International Development.
OPEC Fund for International Development.
And the Moya Museum.
And then the Moya Museum of Art. And that Moya Museum of Art is being funded by the Archduke and Duchess of Austria. Now, the Archduke and Duchess of Austria also have an award that they give out to diplomats and to artists who use their work to propagate world peace. And they selected him.
Oh, wow.
And so at the age of 7, he became the youngest recipient of the Flame of Peace Award.
Whoa.
And I think the first Nigerian. Yes, so until date. So and that was how we really started. From there, we came back, and ideas began to come in. How we could also, and those ideas were not just focused on him, but also now focused on other children living with autism and special needs. Because the more we were reading and the more we were doing things with him and for him, we started to discover other children and speak with other parents. Some who had not come out of the closet by then, some who were still living.
You started a foundation in his name,
Yes,
right?
Kanyeyachukwu Autism Foundation. Yes.
Wow, interesting. So talk to me about the Guinness Book of Records. Did they approach you? Did you approach them? How did you start that process?
Kanye, he has autism, and also, like my husband said, he has a lot of energy, sitting still. And we notice that when he's painting, he's calm, he's focused, he can paint for hours, and that's when he's really calm and he's, and then one day I was going through the internet, I saw this young man that did this large work and broke the Guinness World Record. I looked at the size, and Kanye has been doing 20 feet by 10 feet, some big sizes for his age. And I'm like, Kanye can do this. At least since he enjoys painting, he has this energy, he can embark on this. Although we didn't envisage how difficult it would be putting that huge canvas together, but we started it and he was able to paint it. The record he broke, the gentleman painted for about 6-7 months, and he did this in 3 months, and his own is 3,000 square meters more than the previous record, so he did really good.
Did you sell that painting?
No, it's very big, so the plan is for it to travel around the world. So that's what we're working on, because it's a symbolic piece. We plan to sell it, but we also want to showcase it. We showcased it in Lagos at the Eco Atlantic.
How did you carry it to Lagos? Because it's a huge size.
The Shagori group, they brought in trucks and moved it from Abuja to Lagos. And then they got experts, we got our own expert, and they got their own expert, and they came together and laid it on the marina floor. It was really good.
So tell me, what has it been like? Because you're obviously supportive of your brother, you know. When you saw this significant talent in him, it made you more supportive than you being jealous of the fact that your brother is talented and his talent has showcased him.
I would always support one of, even if he wasn't painting, whatever he's doing, I'll support him. Even as he's cycling, I'm still supporting him. I would never be jealous of him. As he's succeeding, he's bringing me joy. Even more joy than he's probably bringing him. He's bringing me the most joy. So.
So what had been, just let me know, what had been your struggle trying to help your brother through? What has been your challenges?
when we were growing up, he was, of course, very energetic. And, you know what, our age gap isn't that much. It's only 1 year apart. But with him having autism, the gap, of course, feels greater. Because he feels like he's so much younger than me, but actually it's just a 1 year difference. So I always have to look after him, but I don't see it as a struggle. I see it as more of a blessing that this is my brother, and maybe God saw that I have the strength to be able to take care of him properly.
Have you guys ever fought? Have you ever fought? Have you ever disagreed to a point where...
Brothers disagree, brothers fight, but we still progressed after it. I still love him a lot.
Okay, you do love your brother a lot. It's obvious. Okay, so let's talk about, where did you get the funding for this kind of visionary, project? Where did you get the funding? How did you fund? We're still on the arts. We're going to crisscross and get into the ride.
If we're talking about Kanye's art itself, it's self-funded. We fund his art ourselves. And then when he started to sell his pieces, we would, as he sells his piece, what we have been doing, we always dedicate 20% of any of his sold pieces to the Autism Society. So we buy art, paint, we buy easels, we buy brushes, colors and everything, and we donate. But then for the impossibility is a myth, we were able to have one particular donor, one particular sponsor, on which because he actually brought some part of the money for us to buy the canvas. That was the reason why we also said that in doing this piece, The Impossibility is a Myth, that should the painting even actually be sold, that we would be able to, donate to his own. He has an autism institution and wants to build something really big here in Abuja. So it's going to be a part of our contribution in reciprocity. I got that in English, right? Reciprocity to donate to his institution as well. So that was where we got the seed funding. Of course, it was when we never envisaged how big this and the capacity of what we were going into. So it was actually it was just to get the canvas. But then when we now started buying the paint, and we now started buying the brushes, the paint, and then the manpower that was involved, we had a cameraman to be stationed at where he was painting from when he steps on the canvas until he leaves. Sometimes he gets there 9 o'clock in the morning, Kanye, and he leaves 9 in the night.
What?
Sometimes he doesn't want to leave. He has to be forced to get home. My wife said he did it in 3 months. He would actually have done that painting in 2 months. But because people kept calling that they wanted to come and watch and observe him paint, so we had to slow him down. So we put a time limit on when we would be there painting. So we would get there maybe 11 and leave there by 2, 3. And so just that small period of time. And sometimes we would have to also, get into when he would have a meltdown when we say we should leave, because he wouldn't want to leave. And he gets at home, he wants to go. So we were, we to now finish the painting, we were now taking our personal funds again. We had 1 or 2 art collectors who, what they did, I would say, is they purchased one of his pieces, and it was without bargaining. So they just purchased one of his pieces, and as usual, we took out 20%, and then what was left. This time, we had to dedicate it into, put it into this piece now. How else did we? My salary, if you had a family member, a sister, whoever, everybody, whatever you could donate, whatever you could bring, once we get the money, we now started buying the paint in drums. We were not buying them in small. We had to go to where they had their depot. We spoke to several companies, paint companies, but when they were not forthcoming, we had to move because we set our deadline for the 2nd of April. And so we didn't allow anything to stop us. So that was how we were able to put this together at the end of the day.
At what point did it become fun for everybody, Uzi? At what point did it that you started feeling, oh man, this is enjoyable, you know?
I feel like it was always enjoyable for us because we always knew what the end goal would be. We always knew what we were working to. So just that thought alone of this is where we're going, even though we may be, working hard now, we're still going to get to here. So just that thought brought joy to us. And of course, the celebrations and everything was an added plus. So
let's crisscross and go to switch gears and go to the current thing that he's doing right now. Another aim at breaking the Guinness World Records. Talk to us. Well, who goes first? Talk to us about the ride.
Let me go first and introduce the person that will now speak. Because my wife is usually the one that comes up with the ideas. So it's her idea. Again, like I told you, like I said earlier on, what we are.
So you're very comfortable giving her all the credit.
Oh yes, of course. So we have.
You're the real man. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, I'm the high priest. I know I'm the one that does. So we had everything we're doing now is all focused on other children, the autism community, the special needs community, the neurodiverse community, trying to influence inclusion. We've had meetings in the National Assembly. We've had exhibitions in the National Assembly, which was geared towards enacting laws or influencing the lawmakers to enact laws that would help children who are living with neurodiverse conditions. So this year, my wife said, Kanye has been riding his bicycle since he was 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
And so my wife now thought of it and said,
does he ride alone or he rides with you?
With me when he was younger. He ride with me, he too. All of us would ride. And I taught all of them how to ride. I taught all of them how to ride, except her. She doesn't know how to ride.
I don't know how to ride.
But I taught all of them. And so we would go with him because, like I said, the hyperactivity needed to be slowed down. So everybody else was riding for leisure, but he was riding because we needed him to exert energy. So he comes back home tired. So he's been doing that up till now. And so my wife said, the same concept, the same way we thought about painting on 12,000 square feet of canvas, what gave us that assurance? Kanye, at the age of 9, 10, is painting on 20-foot long canvas. He would stand on a ladder and paint, 10 feet high, 20 foot long, and he would paint. So he has been doing that since he was 10. So we knew at the age of 15, 20 foot by 10 feet, if he finishes painting it today, if you bring out another one tomorrow, he'll start painting again on it. So we knew that's just the same thing. He would just simply paint and keep on painting and keep on painting. So we said, if he can ride a distance of 5 kilometers, we can improve on it. And so this is where my wife now came in.
Dr. Sylvia, you are the brain box. Tell us, how did you, what was your inspiration? Of course your son can ride a bicycle and all that. How did you make the transition from just riding for pleasure to riding for this kind of significant event?
Before I say anything, you can have an idea, but without the necessary support, it's just an idea. So even if I come up with, let's do this, these are the support system that makes it happen. So It's not a one, it's a community that comes together to make what he's doing happen. For this bicycle, like we said, he's very energetic. Yes. So his painting is using all that energy. So you have to watch evolve. And for us, it's all about making a difference. It's about him making a difference. He's now in the space where people are looking at him. He's a role model. He's making a difference. So he can't just say, okay, I've made this difference and I'll sit back. He needs to continue doing it. As many people as he can, as much space as he can push the awareness, as many people that as he can help, as much as possible, he should continue doing that. And that's where this cycling comes in. You have a lot of energy, you love cycling, you love art, you're able to do something good in art now, you love cycling, you should do something with cycling as well, because the energy is there. And although he doesn't talk, for you to be able to achieve that, there is determination. He's not saying it, but he has that determination, he has that tenacity. So we're utilizing his strength into making a big difference, so that when people see people like Kanye, they understand where they are coming from.
Okay, so tell me a bit more detail. What is this ride? We saw very long painting and all that. What is this ride? From what point to what point? What date? What are the details of logistics?
Okay. He's going to start from Enugu and then ride all the way to Lagos. So he'll start from Enugu on the 17th, and then the kickoff is on that 17th. He will do community engagement, because it's not just to get on the bike. He's going to have 20. Yes, it's all about awareness. So if he's just riding to break a record, he gets on the bike and he'll just be riding. But this is different. This is advocacy. So he rides, he engages with the community in that environment, and then continue riding. So he's in Enugu, and from Enugu he goes to Anambra. We spend the night in these places, and he gets to Anambra on the 20th. There's activity, and the thing is, the states have been quite amazing. They have embraced this.
What states?
Enugu State, Anambra State. He's going to go to Delta State, and then from Delta State he will go to Edo State. From Edo State he will pass through Ondo, Ore, Ijebu.
Any particular reason for that region and the states?
Not initially. It was supposed to be from Abuja to Lagos, but we looked at the timeline. And then the communities on that route, we said, okay, for him to be able to do good community engagement, it's better he does it from Enugu, because it's more easier for him to travel and engage.
Have you guys ever argued about a certain idea that you want him to pursue, and who gave up?
Yes, we have.
We argue.
Let me just say,
we argue.
We argue a lot. Sometimes, yes, I have to ask. We argue about, can he do it? We argue about funding. We argue because nothing we are trying to do.
Not even can you do more funding.
We need funding. And when my wife said, we had some states who are already excited about it. It's so far Lagos State, Enugu State, and Anambra State. They've shown. They are excited about it. We've met with the governors of these three states, and Enugu State especially is like, he talked about how he had even watched Kanye last year, so he didn't even know he would even be receiving us in his office. So he's very excited about it. Lagos State as well said the same thing. Anambra, of course, is home, so that's his home state. So the governor was, of course, so excited that this is talked about where he's from. And I mentioned it even in his post, exactly his village and everything. So we are going to and then like my wife also said, yes, we funding is we usually what we're arguing about, because when we come up with these ideas,
who's going to fund
the
it?
truth, funding, no idea is in 1 million or 2 million. No. We have you're coming up with something. You're talking in the
Millions.
hundreds of millions. And so I always ask my wife, I say, how do you want to actually do this thing? And she gives me her own idea. And I say, okay, let's watch how it will go. After we've argued and I've said, no, it will not happen. And no, this is not possible. I usually don't say, no, we won't do it. The fear of every parent who has a child living with special needs or autism is what happens if I'm not there. So that fear has propelled us to do anything that is possible or can be done to let the world know that these children have a right to be included in anything you are sharing, teaching, observing, anything that makes life worth meaningful for any child. Every child who is nonverbal, has ADHD, has Down syndrome, has who is a crippled, any child at all should experience and taste of it. It might look like the child does not understand, but trust me, there's what you will do to Kanye now. He will start smiling with you. He will be so happy and he'll want to be around you. So that means that the feeling, they have it as well. So because of that, and I think my wife knows it, that there's where you will argue to, and I will stop arguing. Why? Because I always say to myself, if not now, when? If not us, who? And so if there's a movie I watch, if I fall, I fall. I mean, if we go and so
you're not afraid of failing?
No.
You pick yourself up.
Okay. So tell me, is there any completely new idea that you are looking forward to implement? You've done painting. You're going into writing. What next?
Just for next year.
That's next
April
year, you will
2nd.
know.
Okay, so you haven't arrived there.
We know what we're going to do, but we want to finish with this one first.
Okay.
So we want to make it a yearly thing.
Okay.
Making a difference.
Okay. Fantastic. Ozzy, tell me, what role are you playing in the ride process?
Because I'll be there when it goes to Enugu, I'll be there when it goes to Anambra. I have school as well, so I have to go to school. I'm sad about that, but I'm still going to be there when it goes to Anambra, Enugu, hopefully Edo and Lagos. Just advising him, trying to pick him up. You know, we learned how to ride bikes together. I partially taught him how to ride his bike because I learned before him. So I partially taught him. Whenever he falls on his bike, I'm the one that will pick him up and tell him to continue to keep going. So that's what I want to hopefully do in this ride as well.
Excellent. If you're watching Hidden Sparks and you want to support this cause, this is a worthy cause. Please, they're going to leave you with a phone number and email, and you can contact them directly. I personally endorse this project, and I'm asking you to please support as much as possible. And dare you believe that these couple are accountable, and they will tell you every penny, pounds, dollars that you send, how they spend it. When we come back, we'll look at the impact of what this enigma of a young man is doing. So don't go away. Hidden Sparks will come back to you after this time out. Hello, welcome back to Hidden Sparks. And today, on this particular segment, we're running the final race, and we're focusing on the impact of what this young man had done locally, globally, and peradventure, what he intends to do 20 years from now. Let's begin with the mother. You know, you have been an inspiration. You know, has this made you happy? And what would you say to other mothers who are probably struggling with an autistic child that doesn't know the talent, the potential that child possesses?
For me, to other mothers that are in my shoes, I would say It's a hard road.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard road, it's a long road. I keep saying it. At times you take one step forward, then it's like 200 steps backwards. What I will tell you is you shouldn't give up. You shouldn't give up. Whether the child has talent or the child doesn't have talent, the child has a right, a fundamental right as a human being to be treated as a human being, to be included, to be loved, to have attention, to have access to everything that a typical child should have access to. Education, health, friends, family gathering. We should treat them the way we treat the other neurotypical, and we should have empathy. So I keep telling parents they should keep doing what they do. They should not be ashamed of their child. They should talk about their child no matter where they go, because it's when people know about your child that is where acceptance starts. You have to accept so that other people around you accept.
Have you been able to inspire any mother or parents that almost was at the verge of giving up, but your story, your personal story, your professional story, your mother, the role you have played in the life of your son as a mother, would you say it has inspired one person that you know? You don't necessarily have to mention name, but who have you inspired?
We get calls. We get calls, we get emails, we get people telling other people to contact us. A lot of people have reached out in different forms. You hear stories. We even have people that they learned about him and they went back, saw their kids and started building on their children's career. So the impact has been amazing. And every time we hear such stories, we are so happy because it makes the hard road worthwhile.
So are you not thinking, let me switch gears and go to you. Is the family not thinking of a network of support group, a sort of a movement, just little, a sort of a movement? Are you thinking of that?
That would be, yes, that we have talked of it several times. We have thought about it. It is,
That's why the society is there.
it's when we started the Kanyeyachukwu Autism Society, that was where our focus was on. But we now realize that we had some work to do, first of all, which is mainly spreading awareness, advocacy, which is what we're doing now. So we are taking it step by step. I've told my wife a couple of times, should I just set up a WhatsApp group and have fathers who also have children with special needs, and let's just, even if it's once a week, we should come together and share stories or share our experiences, and then I'm on the verge of doing it. Something will come up.
So why is it that you don't want to do it?
I've thought about different things. I've thought about and this is very honestly, I've thought about what will I discuss. Would I set it up and allow a free flow? That might not go too well, because my experience is a lot of people, even including myself, I'm sure, sometimes tend to be very protective of their children. Even though, yes, they've come out and told you their child has autism, they're still protective. They're also very, they want to withhold the territory which they have earmarked for their child. So somebody might, if I say I don't allow Kanye to take soda, to take Fanta or Coke, and the next person can tell me, what's wrong with it? I allow my child to have it. If I start going through the process of saying, but you know, normally even for normal children, that you can have a sugar spike, and that would cause hyperactivity. So talk less of a child who already has ADHD, and an argument can ensue. And I don't want that. And I ask myself, do you want that? And I say, no. What I want to do is to help, especially younger fathers. I met them in some schools. And don't get me wrong, I will do it. What I meant by something comes up is that we had the project last year, and I tell you very honestly, that project actually takes a lot of our time. It takes a lot of our free time. If we were
And
not,
that was the painting, right?
yes, the painting. If we were not sitting down with Kanye and painting, if we are not in an interview, having an interview, if we are not speaking to other families, if we are not speaking to children, even my son, Ozzy, has to be, sometimes he would go to a function to speak and to talk to families, to talk to parents, to talk to children. If we're not doing that, we are doing some form of community service in one way or the other. We are even supporting other families who have their own children who are trying to come out either in art or some are playing musical instruments, and we're trying to support them. And that takes some of our time. Again, of course, we're trying to survive as well. So we're working and we're trying to do whatever we can. So all of these put together, it actually takes a toll sometimes.
I know. Maybe your next line of thoughts, your next line of project can look at support groups, establishing support groups. You can have Abuja support group, Lagos support group, and all that. He's a huge inspiration. But I speak to you from my spirit that this young man is a movement, is a revolution,
Amen.
And I think it's something you guys need to think of, By the way, you are a Gen Z. As you look into this camera, can you talk to your friend who have a brother just like you do, who instead of supporting the brother is actually ashamed of the brother? Can you look into the camera and tell them why they should be as supportive as you are?
Okay, so as a fellow Gen Z, when you have a brother or sister who have autism or any form of special needs, you have to support them and keep them with you and guide them, because no matter what, they're still your brother, no matter what, they're still your family, no matter what, they're still human beings. And you're not meant to deny them of any rights as a human being. They feel joy, they feel sadness, they feel anger, just like you and me. So you should not separate yourselves from them in any way.
Excellent. So let's wrap up. Dr. Sylvia, 20 years from now, what do you see your child becoming 20 years from now? Canadian Prime Minister.
I'm just taking one day at a time. Anything is possible, because his team and what he stands for is impossibility is in me. Nothing is impossible. Nothing.
So you whatever you will say, whatever God wants him to be,
yes,
he will
he'll be. Yes.
But have you ever contacted the Canadian Embassy? Are they aware of what he's doing as a Canadian?
They are so supportive of him. Last year, they had a solo exhibition on World Disability Day. And when he goes abroad to exhibition, if the Canadian ambassador here contacts the embassy there, and the ambassador there comes over. So they are fully in support of him. They are amazing.
Okay, so Tagbo, how much have you been able to inspire other fathers to support your son, to support their children, just like you support your son?
Okay, I would say I think there's been a lot of impact. I think it is the impact, it is what I've been told, it is the messages that have come in that made me say to myself, I should set up a WhatsApp group. It's what gave me the audacity to even think of it, because I've had people call me middle of the night, say, I just watched your video, I just watched an interview. I have a child as well who's living on the spectrum, and we've been friends 30 years.
They never told you?
They never told me. They never came out. So they call and say, listen, if your boldness is what is making inspiring me.
Yeah. Wow.
But I would say, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but I would say most of the biggest inspiration, the biggest words that I got were people in positions of authority who the Deputy Speaker recently of the Federal House of Representatives, when we met, he kept on repeating it over and over again, repeating it over and over again. You're a strong man, you're a strong man, you're a strong man. What you have done, you don't understand what you're doing, you don't understand what you're doing. Recently, like I said, when we met with the governor of Enugu State, the governor of Enugu State was so like I said, he said he watched Kanye's videos, he watched our videos, and when he's saying it, and as you're saying it and saying, he's looking into your eyes and telling you, you have said, you've done, or you've said some things that may, were very emotional or very inspiring. And then I've also met with people who, the ones that know you very well usually are not the ones that hold you in hand. It's outsiders, but people who I've grown up with and who look at me and say they never felt in any way that I was going through what I was going through. And then more than that, they never felt with what we were going through, that you would handle it the way you're handling it. And that gives me a lot of joy. But I know that the work is not over. I'm not swayed by those words. And I try to tell my wife as well. We are not carried away. We're not moved by those words, really. Like I said, the biggest fear of any parent who has a child living with special needs is what happens when I'm not there. And I feel that as long as that remains there, I care to tell people, no matter whatever it is that we've achieved, understand that we still have a young man living with autism. And we are still interested in anything, research, any research, intervention, caregivers, institutions. We want to know what is everybody providing, what is everybody bringing to the table, how effective are they for all autistics all over the world, for all neurodiverse all over the world. So we are still caring for somebody who has this condition. And so it takes away, it makes it easy for me to forget your words and continue pushing and continue to push. So honestly, I would tell you, yes, a lot of inspiring words. Kanye has opened a lot of doors for us. The word of the Bible says that the gift of a man will bring him to the presence of kings. And so what Kanye has done is taken us into places where ordinarily we probably would not have been brought to that table. But his gift has taken us to those places. We get people even on the streets. Just we walk past and the person comes back, hey, excuse me, is this Kanye? That gives us a lot of joy. But of course, like I said, we are still pushing, we are still looking for solutions, we're still looking for opportunities to help him and to help those just like him.
Fantastic. Well, God bless you, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hidden Sparks. Remember, it's everyday people making extraordinary change. But all right, guys.